Whoa! Look at that!
This is a big fish.
Oh my God! Okay, kids, man your battle stations. Spring fishing with my grandkids is very special to me, and we love to get together for it whenever we can. Somebody grab the net, Mom.
Oh, this is a big one.
Caden here obviously began fishing with me at an early age, and I'm here to tell you he's taken to it like other kids zombie out on TV and video games.
Oh, this one's a big one.
There you go. Put him in the live well and get yourself a mini. I never get a no from this kid, which of course makes me very happy. Panfish are his absolute favorite because he gets so many bites. So last June, while I was tied up elsewhere, when the conditions were ripe for spawning bluegills, pro staffer Nate Berg was kind enough to take Caden out. Family fishing is certainly the backbone for mentoring young people, but as you're about to see, any outing with anybody willing to share of their time and knowledge is equally beneficial at nurturing young interests.
Okay, Caden, let's try this dock right here, okay? Look at the little bass right there. See them? There's some little bluegills too. What Caden and I are doing right now is we're just skipping docks, trying to catch a few bass as we look for some spawning bluegills. We're at about June 10th, and it's perfect timing for bluegills to be on their beds.
Now, as they get started, from my experience, I'll share a little bit of information on early season sunfish. Bluegills are the most common member of the sunfish family found here, but pumpkin seeds and green sunfish are almost always part of the mix too.
I'm going to explain what's going to happen here, Caden, okay? So we're just going to flop, you're going to cast out the line, and you're going to let it sink. And what'll happen is, you watch your line, you'll see it take off when one eats it, okay? And then as soon as you see it take off, you set the hook. All right, let me cast the first one out, okay? And we'll get right up in there and let it sink. Let it sink nice and slow. And you got him, get him, get him. There you go. Oh, he come off. That's okay. But did you see how that line took off?
Yep.
That's the trick. We're gonna go for that big one right there. Now watch your line. It's gonna sink. You ate it, get him. There you got him. And that's a nice one. Hey, we got drag. Oh, I guess he's not as big as we thought he was.
He's still kind of big.
He's still kind of big?
Not too big, though. We throw
Okay.
that.
Where we live, spawning usually occurs in late May and June when water temperatures in the shallows reach that magic 60 to 65 degree range. During pre-spawn, the male sunfish first arrive at the mating site to make spawning beds in particular types of shallow water spots. As the female bluegill approaches the dug-out nest, the male circles around making grunting noises. Females are more attracted to the larger male fish, and after she chooses her mate, they join in the nest or bed and circle each other. If the female still decides to stay, they settle in the middle of the bed and the pair touch bellies to help drop her eggs. Afterwards, the male chases her out, guarding the eggs until they hatch and are able to swim on their own.
Oh, no, we're not close. There he comes.
This is the time of year when sunfish are concentrated and the easiest to catch by sight fishing. You just look for the beds with fish holding on them. Once you find them, catching is the easy part.
See, they're holding really tight to their beds. So what we need to do is we need to cast it and make sure it lands right on it, okay?
Yeah.
And we need to make it sink. So we'll go and give them a rest. And we'll try that one right there. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it sink. Let it sink. There's one looking at it. There's one look. Oh, got him. Yes, you do. Good job. Look at how pretty they are in the water. Isn't that cool? What do you think of that, huh?
That one's bigger.
That one's bigger. Here, you want to see if you can lip them like a bass?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, he doesn't want it.
There you
He
go.
wants to go back in the water.
There you go. Show the world what you just caught. You proud of that one?
Yeah.
I know one thing, I bet Grandpa's proud too.
Where's
Yeah.
Can you open it up?
I'll open up the live well for you. There you go.
Continuing now in Minnesota, where the gills are on beds and our guys are having a hoot.
Now let's see if we can catch one of these big guys.
Right there.
You see him?
Yeah, right there in that bed.
I see him.
Big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
Let's drop down right there. Here he comes. Hold on. Hold on. He's got to get him. Get him. Yeah, you got that big guy. Look at the nice fish. Isn't that incredible? There you go. Look at the size of that one, huh?
That thing's the biggest one yet.
That is. And he's got it. Hold on. There, you got him. Good job. Here he comes. You got him. Yes, look at the hoss. That's a big one, kid.
Oh, I thought he just walked off.
Oh, it's such a kick watching you catch fish, kid. It so reminds me of myself. Look at the size of that bluegill. We're just gonna sit here for a little bit. There comes one. Got him, get him, get him. Hey, whoop.
Not big
Little
enough.
guy, stop.
Not big enough.
Let it sink, reel in, reel, reel, reel. You got one? I bet you do. There you go.
Not a
What do
big
we
one.
got, huh?
Not a big one.
Let it sink. Let it sink. Here he comes. You see him? He's got it. Get him. There you got him. Did you see him eat it?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Everybody's gonna be super proud of Caden. Nate is. Great job, buddy.
Another panfish ritual that can be super productive is when post-spawn crappie schools hang out on the summer weed lines to feed. And for a few tips on how to capitalize on warm water slabs, I take you now to Iron River, Wisconsin.
Well, Jeff, let's go get him.
Let's get him, buddy.
I'm ready.
There, local guide and pro staffer Jeff Evans pairs up with Nate Berg to begin their search and explain the pattern they're seeking to find.
Crappies can be a Pandora's box at this time of year. I mean, because every lake, the crappies behave a little bit different. We're midsummer, middle of July. You're still gonna find fish relating to weed patches, but those weed patches are gonna vary in depth. Right there, Nate, let's drop it right there. Dark water lakes, you're gonna still find fish in 5 to 8 feet of water generally. We were fishing a clear water lake, and a lot of our fish were coming from 9 to 12 feet of water. And again, it's a forage thing. If the minnows are there and the little bugs and all those things that crappies like, you know, that's where we found those fish.
So what Jeff and I are doing is we're fishing a little bowl area on a pretty shallow flat he's found to be full of crappies. I've fished here with him before, and it's a good spot. There's different types of weeds in here that are holding them, and all we're doing is swimming little tube jigs. Ooh. Who does not like catching foot-long crappies on tube jigs? So the technique is pretty simple. We're just making long casts. We have very thin diameter, no stretch line, and we're just swimming the jig in. Raising the rod, doing a little bit of a jig, feel a weed, just give it a snap off, and the no stretch line allows you to snap it off that weed and you don't catch it many times.
You know what I call that? Perfect. I love them.
It's a very, very simple technique. You really need to have a good sensitive rod. And we have a St. Croix Panfish series rod. This one here is a 7-foot light action rod with a fast tip. It allows you to really snap through, and there Jeff has another one.
Now,
awesome.
I will tell you, the one thing I've noticed here on the fish I've been catching, it's on the drop.
Yep.
So you pull that jig through the weeds, and actually I like to let it hang up in the weeds, and then I pop it off the weed, and as it's dropping off of that weed, that's when I'm getting my strikes. Another one.
Speed and direction, my friend.
Another nice 11-inch fish probably. There we go. 1 32nd ounce jig. I mean, just real simple. I mean, this is the typical crappie tube on a 32nd ounce jig. We're in 10 feet of water, thick weeds, and just swimming it over.
The only difference is I'm using a 16th ounce jig, and I got a colored head, just to throw something different and see, you know, what's what. I caught one small one, or almost caught one small one, and Jeff has got 2 nice ones, so if he gets one more here, I'll be switching real fast.
You might not think that there's a big difference between a 16th ounce and a 32nd ounce jig head, I tell people all the time when crappie fishing, the devil's in the details.
That's
and it's
right.
little tiny things like that make a difference.
Continuing now on a lake we won't name in the Iron River, Wisconsin area, Evans and Berg are jig fishing down the weed line edge of about a 14-foot hole situated in the middle of a large, shallow water, shoreline connected flat. The crappies are stacked up, but scattered along it, so all the boys have to do is keep moving to stay on them or to find new schools.
We are tucked into the one spot we could be fishing right now. Thankfully, it's got fish on it.
There's one, Jeff.
Nice.
Boy, he hit it hard too. He thinks he's a bass.
We're in a little bigger run of fish now.
Yep.
Perfect.
I changed colors.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, let's let him go.
Sly guy changed colors.
Hey,
Got
hey,
one.
I think I got to get out of your way here. What do you got there?
Get one.
Haha, we see what that is. Hey, guess what I got? We got ourselves a double.
Double.
I think you put us
Double.
on them, Jeff.
Nice.
Swimming crappie jigs, you gotta love that.
Big fish too.
Yes, they are. Let's see whose is bigger, huh? She looks like she's still got eggs in her.
Might have, because I suspect a lot of
Yeah.
our fish might not have spawned this year.
Cookie cutter fish.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful. Well, all right, man. I like that. There's nothing better than to cast right in Jeff's spot and catch another one.
The setups that Nate and I were using today for crappie fishing were the 7-foot St. Croix Panfish series rods, which were absolutely excellent. We could fire those jigs out as far as we could. We were using a small diameter, thin, no stretch line with about a 4-foot fluorocarbon leader tied into the end. Again, a real natural presentation, super sensitive. We could feel those fish just breathe on that bait. Fortunately though, it wasn't that technical of a thing because they were hammering those plastics.
I got one.
There you go. Oh, oh,
No.
oh.
How am I ever going to get in front of you if I can't?
You're not gonna get away with
if
that,
I can't
young
catch
man.
one on my own
You're
here.
not gonna get away with that.
What's great about this technique when it comes to northern lakes in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, a crappie is a crappie. They're going to be in the same type of areas. And basically all we're doing is we're fishing a bowl here that's surrounded by shallow water, and there's great weed growth in here. And it's probably the single best spot on the lake for the summertime crappies. So how many lakes do you cover, Jeff?
Well, between the St. Louis River Harbor up in Duluth and Superior, then the Hayward Lakes area, Schwamigan Bay on Lake Superior, probably 20 to 25 different bodies of water that I'm on regularly. It just depends on the time of year, the bite. We don't specialize in anything, so it's smallmouth bass, it's walleyes, it's muskies, it's crappies, kind of whatever people are into, what they want to fish for. We just have a ton. We're blessed. We have a ton of great opportunities, a lot of different bodies of water to fish. I like to see us catching different year classes of fish.
Isn't that
too,
great?
Nate. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've caught 3, haven't we?
Exactly. Yep.
3 different year classes. It's a healthy lake. But I tell you what, it'd be very easy to kill this lake out if you're not careful.
You can't be greedy.
Yeah.
You can't be greedy.
Just nice and long casts and swim that jig. All you want to do is picture it. Picture the jig falling through the weeds, and then you jig it up and let it fall through the weeds. Now I'm adding a little more jarring action to it, so it's kind of doing the swimming action kind of like that. And you're just trying to get that reaction strike. I'm going to guess most of the fish in this little hole here are right where we're fishing, wouldn't you say? Just the way it is. We caught one here, one there, one here, one there, one here, one there, and all of a sudden we found this spot, and it's intense. Oh, there was one. They're all in a little area that's probably what, 10 yards by 10 yards?
Yeah, and we pointed out there's some weed tops sticking out up there.
Yep.
You probably can't pick it up on camera, but I'm sure all these fish are just congregated around
Yeah.
that big bunch of cabbage. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
hooked up.
So am I.
I'm hooked up.
Oh, this is a nice one. Mr. Jeff,
In.
another double. How many is that?
In.
How many doubles is that?
It's quite a few.
That's incredible. Them are beautiful, beautiful crappies. I mean, that's 11 inches. Yours is probably a little, well, yours is bigger. Yours
That's how I like it. A
yeah.
little bit bigger, just a little bit.
But I think we could sit here all day and catch crappies on and off like we have. I mean, we've kind of had to work for them, you know. We'll catch 5, 6, and then have to wait 20 minutes, catch 5, 6 more. You know, typical cold front stuff. Uh-oh, I see that.
Got him. Got him.
He was closer boat.
Yep.
Look at that. And a double.
Yes, sir.
I cannot let you pull ahead by 2.
Look at that one, Nate.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Those are 2 kings right there.
I don't know how many lakes you have that hold crappies like this. I mean, those are a couple of footers.
Yeah.
Those are dandies no matter where you fish.
They're thick.
But I tell you what, I want to come back next week and do this again when their mouths recuperate. Man alive.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jeff.
Absolutely, Nate. Fun morning.
Absolutely fun. Well, let's move on and see if there's any smallmouth that you're talking about that frequent this lake. See ya, buddy.
Sounds good.
Now, for those of you looking for a little help, and the best guide I can possibly name in Wisconsin to deliver all the awesome fishing the state has to offer, I urge you to get a hold of Jeff Evans Fishing Guides. I fished with Jeff many times, and we're talking about a man who truly is an expert on catching nearly every type of local species throughout all the seasons of the year. And when you travel to Iron River, I hope you'll support the Sportsman's Stop that supports my crew and I while there. The Lumbermen's Inn, great accommodations, and the place where fishermen get together to tell their tales. You know, since I've been old enough to be able to go by myself, I haven't missed a single spring or summer of bluegill or crappie fishing. See, when you fish and live where I do, neither one is something fishermen want to miss. Certainly, I do have a personal love for catching those biggest slabs like everyone does. And since I've studied panfish over my lifetime, oftentimes I do. But more importantly, now that I'm a teeny bit older, are the memories of catching sunfish and crappies with all the important people in my life. My mom and dad, my siblings, my own grandkids, my own kids, and the best of friends. And I am certain of one thing, I'm not alone there. I call panfish the people's fish. Found in nearly every body of water throughout most of the country, schooling fish that can often be caught in plenty, phenomenal for the pan, and just so incredibly fun to catch. More anglers fish for them than any other species. So, isn't it fair to say that such a title is well-deserved? I'm Babe Winkelman. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, everybody, hey, good fishing.